Yes, ladies and gentlemen, the gameplays commentaries, they've returned, alright? They've returned. I'm done with the video essays. I'm a new man. I'm reborn. In all seriousness, I know it's been a while since I've made one of these videos, and I think it's for good reason. I've been enjoying making my other content, but I think all this yapping I've been doing for the past 14 seconds is besides the fact of the matter. Today I will be speaking about Ava Kris Tyson and some of the opinions I share on them. This has been possibly the biggest topic over the past 72 hours, basically on Twitter, and even on YouTube. For good reason too, as a creator that was totally propelled by the fame of MrBeast and is so intertwined with the MrBeast brand, to be exposed for interactions with minors and general interactions with depictions of minors is something that's not only deplorable, but something that should rightfully be spoken about at lengths for like multiple days on end. I want to state one thing though off the bat here: this is not a definitive or conclusive video, as there's more evidence that comes out by the day, and I might need to go back and edit this video, so if there's anything that's weird timeline wise, that's what that's going to be. And this is also not a definitive video because I think making conclusive statements on a situation that is literally being updated frankly by the hour is not something we should be doing in the first whatever 72 hours of the situation. However, with that being said, what did Kris Tyson really do? Obviously you all know, but I'll give you the rundown synopsis because I'm a commentary channel and that's kind of what I have to do. YouTuber and content creator Adrox dropped a video called "This Will Make You Hate Kris Tyson," in which they talk about the multiple interactions between Kris and artist Shadman. For those unaware, Shadman was an insanely popular artist who drew very questionable, not safe for work material. Some of this material containing literal minors, some as young as 8 years old, like Keemstar's daughter. And some of these interactions, Kris Ava Tyson directly requested art of minors, even purchasing a poster of Shad's artwork from the Shad-based website. Mind you, this artwork contains someone that was, well, under the age of 18. Initially, to popularize the situation, YouTubers at Cheeto and Sensitive Society made videos basically just reacting to that content, essentially signal boosting it to their audiences, which were much larger than that of Adrox. Here's where we really get into the melting pot, as YouTuber Brion would accuse Kris Ava Tyson of grooming. Said victim would be a user by the name of LavaGS. Brion describes that Kris Tyson had very inappropriate discussions with this person when they were 13 years old in a Discord server. Now, this LavaGS individual would actually come out to dispel the allegations and say that they were false and nothing actually inappropriate happened, just a few edgy jokes here and there. However, in this tweet, they don't directly talk about Brion's video and instead direct their attention towards a Cheeto and Sensitive Society, both of which did not talk about their allegations and solely talked about Shadman. It took them at least over 24 hours to rectify their mistakes with constant messaging for both creators to try and resolve the situation. But it didn't really work anyways, because even though they made a clarification tweet, the original tweet is still up and actually pinned on their profile, continually spreading the misinformation that these two creators did anything in any which way to talk about their situation as of that moment. A lot of the discourse surrounding the LavaGS allegations is that Lava was actually groomed and continually denies it, and that's a symptom of grooming. I mean, I would let them believe what they want to believe, and there were some screen caps of some of the messages that were sent and some of the different weird things that Kris was doing. While Lava does not consider them in their own eyes, I think other people think differently, as I do agree these messages are something, bro. And basically by the hour there were more allegations pumped out on conveyor belts, like that one scene from the Robots movie. Firstly, we have some messages between Kris Tyson and an alleged 14-year-old over Snapchat, and then a voice call in the same LavaGS Discord server where they say some things.
Dude, I would come inside of that egg and then watch her eat it, and then watch her have sex with another man while she comments about how my genitalia can never satisfy her. He gets cancer in the mouth.
Okay. I gotta say, that is one of the not good places.
I hope he goes his entire life not smoking a single cigarette, and then when he gets 80, he just gets with some dude with some cancer dick. He shoves it in his mouth and gets mouth cancer.
Yeah.
That's hot.
You know, I think calling a 14-year-old dad and then talking about coming on eggs and cancer in a Discord voice chat is definitely not the right way to go about communicating with minors. I don't inherently think that it's like pedophilic in nature, but I do think it's quite weird and kind of creepy. And as for the newer allegations that regard another 14-year-old in 2020 has been allegedly proven false, as the video has some shady properties when you look really close into the recording. Like when they were refreshing the tab, it would change the date from a certain date to today. And finally, the newest allegations from someone that was in decently close relation with Lava GS. This individual claims that not only him, but also Lava GS were moderators of not only Kris's Discord server, but also her Twitch streams. This individual also claims that they were linked a lot of porn and hentai by Kris Tyson. They also claim there was a not safe for work bot in the Discord server before it was made public for the Gary's Mod special, whatever. They finally claimed that Lava GS and them spent days cleaning the Discord server of corn images and generally bad things that cannot be shown to the public. However, Lava GS responded and totally refuted all of the claims that this individual made. Yes, I know him. A lot of the statements he made in that video about me are completely untrue. I was friends with him. We played games together and worked on the Discord. He was later removed from the Discord because of how unstable he was. He would lash out and verbally attack other members of the team. I never sent him any contract, and I have not been under any NDA since 2022. I have not received any payment, nor any of my socials monetized. I did inform him that he might be offered a job to help work in Minecraft videos around the time I was, but this never happened. We did not scrub the Discord clean of racist remarks or porn. We did convert the Discord from a private one to a public one in a day. After it had been made public, this involves setting up moderation bots and channel permissions. We also had never done unpaid work. At no point was there any agreement that we would be paid for anything we worked on. Nathan has since deleted his Discord messages between me and him. He also deleted his original Discord account. Nathan was more involved with Jake the Viking. At this point, with the lack of evidence surrounding the situation, it's more of a he said, she said between Lava and Nathan. Alright, so literally an hour or two after I recorded my Kris Tyson video, Nathan, this original guy that came out with the story of him and Lava GS being moderators of the server, and them essentially having to cleanse the server of all inappropriate words and images of corn. Initially, there was no proof to the allegation, and that it was just actually a he said, she said. Something that if you've been watching this video, I literally just said, but as of right now, there is some new evidence that Nathan has just posted. And the allegation that the N-word was used multiple times in this actual Discord server was confirmed with this, as Cookie of God says that they deleted every N-word possible from the server prior to making it public, of course. It does confirm that and the pure nature of the edgy quote-unquote-ness. And in another screenshot, Kris themselves actually says to shut down the quote-unquote not safe for work channel. Nathan perpetuates that this is the exact channel that he spam all these images of corn in. Yeah, so before posting on the story, thank God that they locked it down so no other minors could get in. Only the minors on the mod team, of course. Yeah, no, that works. Now, this does kind of put Ava Kris Tyson in a little rock in a tight place, per se. Now, the only possibility that these aren't incriminating pieces of evidence is the fact that they could possibly be faked. However, with all the proof that they show, and even the DMs with Cookie of Gods, it seems very likely that they're not. However, I won't make any definitive statements on the validity of these screenshots. I'm just gonna put this out there in the video for relevancy's sake and for accuracy's sake, and it also kind of makes the points I'm about to say a lot better. So back to past Salty. All right, so I just woke up. This is Salty after the exporting of the entire video. So this is the next day on July 26, 2024. The Discord chat logs have actually been leaked full force, and there's even more evidence to confirm the fact there was a not safe for work channel that was shown to minors. And generally, the nature of this Discord channel is disgusting. Nathan says in one of the chat logs that they were actually the ones who made the NSFW channel. However, they were requested to do so by Kris. Someone makes the rightful point that if Kris can't regulate it, then you can't have one, and that it's the responsibility of Kris to prevent minors from seeing that content. They respond by saying, "What am I, a parent?" Somebody by the name of Shade said that it wasn't necessary to age gate the Discord channel of not safe for work content. This also confirmed Nathan's claims of a bot, as there was someone that was actually just given moderator because they suggested adding one. Kris allegedly told them to do it themselves. I'm going to do a little bit of spoiling. There's definitely going to be a lot that comes out over the next few days, so this video, I'm not coming back editing it. I'm publishing it today. Lava GS has also walked back their statement regarding this with a tweet that reads, "Based on the recent screenshots and messages, I would like to say a statement about the Discord. This was 5 or 6 years ago, and I thought I had a good memory of the situation, but I was wrong. After reading the chat logs, this stuff was inappropriate and wrong. I spoke based on my memory of the situation, and I still do not remember these conversations, but they definitely happened. These conversations should not have happened with people at the age I was at the time, and I strongly condemn them. I still believe I am not a grooming victim, but these conversations should not have happened with me and any other minor in this Discord. I was a minor in this situation, and not the adult influencer who shouldn't allow this to happen. I did not see this as wrong at the time. Sorry, I'll make a follow-up video if there's a lot. As for weird tweets and extremely borderline like weird Reddit comments, the last allegation we talk about is the Shadman one, which I referred to at the original part of this video. Something that is just blatantly disgusting, vile, and gross. Something that everyone excuses as edgy jokes. Finally, before I get into the more generalized media perception of the situation, I want to give not only Kris Tyson's response, but also Mr. Beast's, as I feel they provide a bit of insight before I get into what I really want to get into. I would like to apologize for any of my past behavior or comments if it hurt or offended anyone. It was not my intent. Seeing recent events, we mutually decided it's best I permanently step away from all things Mr. Beast and social media to focus on my family and mental health. I want to add, I never groomed anyone. The person who gets brought up in these accusations at LavaGS has vocally supported that they are false. Having said that, I humbly apologize to anyone I have hurt with my unacceptable social media posts, past actions, and to those who may feel betrayed by how I used to act online. To lump these two factors together to create a narrative that my behavior extended beyond bad edgy jokes is disgusting and did not happen. In past years, I have learned that my old humor is unacceptable. I cannot change who I was, but I can continue to work on myself. I don't want these actions to impact the hundreds of people who work at Mr. Beast, which is why I've stepped away. It is essentially I apologize if you feel offended or if you feel hurt. And chalking up your weird, crazy actions regarding minors to edgy jokes. It was an edgy joke to be supporting and openly buying lolicon art. It was an edgy joke to be talking about coming on eggs and cancer with children. It was an edgy joke to be calling 14-year-olds dad. I don't want to imply that that's generally, but I do want to imply that that is weird and is not just an edgy joke. Over the last few days, I've become aware of the serious allegations of Ava Tyson's behavior online, and I am disgusted and opposed to such unacceptable acts. During that time, I have been focused on hiring an independent third party to conduct a thorough investigation to ensure I have all the facts. That said, I've seen enough online and taken immediate action to remove Ava from the company, my channel, and any association with Mr. Beast. I do not condone or support any of the inappropriate actions. I will allow the independent investigators the necessary time to conduct a comprehensive investigation and will take any further actions based on their findings. A much more appropriate yet almost PR-like response. And if the talks of third-party investigators are true, that's pretty good on him. However, now that I've covered the basic extent of the situation, I think I want to take a little bit of a dip into something that I think is pretty interesting when it comes to this situation. There are about 4 different archetypes of people that I've observed throughout the situation. 1. The transphobe, the person that's been preying on Kris Tyson's downfall ever since they transitioned, and well, now is the perfect time to strike. Their comments are unnecessary and derive attention away from the fact that this person is a creep more onto their transgenderism. If you do that, you are essentially part of the problem as to why this situation does not get the full utmost attention that it really deserves, to be frank. You may be saying, well, it's already a big enough situation, already everyone knows what happens, but there's more allegations that come out by the day, and with a creator so large, I think everyone should be in the wherewithal of what is happening. You have the second archetype of people, the people that are sort of in the middle ground, like myself, who think that this is weird, creepy, disgusting behavior. You know, maybe I'm a bit extremist though, you never know, I'm a bit of a cheeky guy. Now you have the third archetype, which is definitely the minority in this situation, of people actually defending Ava Tyson, saying that due to the fact that they switched genders, that obviously means they had a change in character from all the way back then, and they're nothing similar to it now. And finally, you have a certain type of people, one that I'm very critical of, and almost borderline as critical of as the transphobes in this situation, as they are essentially repeating the same behavior as the transphobes, just on the other side of the spectrum when it comes to accepting or not accepting transgender people. These are the sort of individuals that speak on the effects of their actions on the trans community, and generally mentioning the trans community as a whole in this situation, arguing that transphobes are going to use this situation in the future to dispel all proof of trans people having individuality, I guess. And although true, why are we making these definitive, conclusive statements so early on into the situation? I mean, at the time of recording, it has been like 3 or 4 days since this stuff has come out, and we're already making definitive, conclusive statements on the effects of their actions on the community, even though, since new stuff is coming out by the hour, How are we making definitive, conclusive statements on their actions when we don't even have a grasp of the effects or even their actions in general? You're making a definitive statement on something that isn't concluded yet. Maybe in like 2 weeks when this all sort of blows over, it'd be the right time. And these are the same sort of individuals that will go on a one-off tangent criticizing content creators in this situation for making content about this, or in actually other cases, not making content about this. But I'm pretty sure that your little tangent on like different creators can wait. Take this one for instance, which speaks about Mutahar using Kiwi Farms as a source on their most recent Ava Kris Tyson video. Mind you, this is the same criticism that happened with the exact same creator, as a matter of fact, only a few months ago with Keffals. Because Mutahar used a quote-unquote transphobic caricature of Keffals in the video, and also used Kiwi Farms for said video and its sourcing, people tried to discredit him and disvalue the video for it. Mind you, I don't condone anything that goes on in Kiwi Farms when it comes to doxing and transphobia, as that is something that is going to reign and happen for a while on that site because of the culture and pure anonymity surrounding it. But to act like it's not a good source because there's transphobia and doxing on it, when at least one of those things is very present on Twitter a lot, however, it's a source for information. Same thing with Reddit. Whatever you want to use, whatever forum you want to use where you source information from, there is likely transphobia on that forum. Sort of an art from artist situation as well, because, well, if the information is not only correct but actually valuable, in a situation like this where it should be popularized at all costs, as this person is almost attempting to prey on minors and is interacting with quite weird art, you would want the most information possible. Another instance of a creator just being totally, and I mean utterly, just disgraced for no real apparent reason other than to just nitpick at things when there is a much bigger subject matter to be attending to. And this would be that of Moist Critical with this banger of a tweet by Cacti Empress. 22 minutes and doesn't once refer to her by her actual pronouns. So disappointing to see Moist Critical refuse to be an actual ally of the LGBT community just to appease the transphobes in his audience. Literally every other person got referred to by their pronouns except Ava. And I think the quote tweet by Hancock puts this in a perfect light. This person sat through a 22-minute video that categorically details each deplorable act committed by Chris, and their main takeaway is that Moist Critical is a transphobe because he doesn't say she once. Goes to show how much virtual signaling can corrupt your moral compass. Why I think this quote tweet puts it perfectly is because it's one of the only ones that I see where people actually dispel the point and it aren't being transphobic in general. Like sometimes people will just take the easy way out by just saying, oh well, their pronouns are actually he, it doesn't matter because it's a pedo. I like the better approach of actually just taking a look at their argument and dispelling it in totally foolproof ways. I also think that this think before you sleep tweet puts it pretty well into my regards to the situation, at least. My political venues may not be totally in line with think before you sleep, but I definitely share the same thought process as this person with this. There were a lot of people in my comments on one of my tweets saying that I am exaggerating or lying about creators' responses to the Kris Tyson situation because nobody is supporting Chris right now. Well, the whole reason that a lot of people don't know about the Shadman stuff, or his tweets about how much he likes Lolicon, or the fact that he was hanging out and taking pictures with Finster and Giggly Goon Clown, two known child predators, is because when this all got exposed last year, everybody said, how dare you, you are so transphobic for attacking Chris and on EV2. So it's not just Dextero and Rolly Stone running damage control, or Pokimane and Valkyrie saying, let's call him Ava instead of Chris so less people recognize the name who we are talking about. We wouldn't want to accidentally dead name the pedophile, nor is it simply those two shifting focus to the trans community to take away from what Chris did. A few weeks ago, I don't remember those two adding a caveat of, now what Dr. Disrespect did was bad, but I want to make sure that you know that this doesn't represent men as a whole, which means they are, in fact, treating this differently from Dr. Disrespect, despite the fact that there's way more damning evidence against Chris than there is against Herschel. I mean, way more. Now, before people accuse me of defending Dr. Disrespect, fuck him. Just because I said that Chris has done worse stuff doesn't mean I don't think what Herschel did was bad. I'm tired of thousand child like Keffals hiding behind the LGBT movement to cover up what they have done. And if all of these LGBT allies don't want people seeing the gay community as a bunch of predators, then how about instead of shouting transphobia or homophobia every time an LGBT person gets criticized for committing crimes, you kick these people out of the group and make them stand for what they did? How many times do we have to see a video of a 30-year-old dude shoving his balls in a kid's face at a family-friendly drag show, followed by allies saying, not all drag shows. Either call these people out or shut the f up. Okay, now while a bit extreme, I do think the overarching sentiment is something that is expressed a lot throughout this situation. That people in talks of the trans community and other things like that distract from the actual situation at hand, and that it's frankly useless to have subsection conversations when it isn't a conclusive situation. It's like almost everyone is trying to criticize everyone but the actual PDF file. The references of Pokimane and Valkyrie stick very well, as Pokimane tweeted out yuck immediately as the Dr. Disrespect allegations hit, it, but has a more lengthy and more, well, frankly, professional statement about Ava Kris Tyson. Kind of a pathetic double standard, especially when Ava Kris Tyson has a lot of screenshots against them, while Dr. Disrespect is just a testimony. And frankly, if he didn't own up to it, he probably could have gone away with denying it. It's a sad reality of that situation, but the truth is, since it was kind of a he said, she said, there was a lot less actual evidence against Doc. But really, the proof is in the pudding with Ava Kris Tyson, so why people perpetuate this notion as if they are above the law, doing so by just mentioning the trans community, how this is going to affect everyone, and how you shouldn't represent all the other trans people like that, again, is just diverting attention away from the real problem here, and not really entirely addressing it. It's gonna give me a little bit of criticism, but I really don't care at this point. I feel like everybody in this situation is just coddling Ava Kris Tyson, and when you compare it to a different situation, they are saying, well, you're defending so-and-so. I'm not defending Dr. Disrespect, but these same people were the initial people just to jump on Dr. Disrespect as soon as the allegations initially came out with no further patience. But now that it's Ava Kris Tyson, now that it's someone in a community that they respect, they decide to take a bit more time, a bit more effort into, you know, waiting for these allegations, waiting for the further evidence, and then in the meantime talking about the trans community and the possible effects of this on the trans community, which is just diverting attention away from the actual allegations themselves. And at this point, I wouldn't even call these allegations. Only really the new stuff about them speaking with minors inappropriately are the allegations. All the other stuff is proof in the pudding, things that they self-admittedly said and tried to downplay as just edgy jokes. Frankly, the situation just evolves by the day, and the fact people are going to make definitive community-wide statements is just baffling to me, and I can't say this enough, it just genuinely takes away attention from the actual situation at hand and the biggest issue at hand. That's all for my take. I think I've made a little synopsis over the allegations, and I've spent a lot of this time kind of talking about what I think of it. This is definitely one of my more little radical out there takes, and it's not something I would usually share, but at this point it's gotten so infuriating to the degree where it's almost just baffling to me how I can get so mad at constant tweets that are just deriving attention away from the fact that this person supported lolicon art, possibly talked to minors, and there's possibly a web of people that supported lolicon art. But that's gonna be it for me today. I know it's a bit of an out there video, a bit of a different video style, but yeah, thanks for watching. Subscribe, hit that fat fucking like button for the win.